interesting at the very end of the day, because there was obviously the 1 hour closed wheel practice session. Across the line comes the numbers, well, so that's it. In my hotel last night. Drivers at the very top, you could end up with quite an interesting race. You never want that though, do you? You never want to lose out to a car of Julian McBride in his white, his sort of white with red and blue flashes, is that BMW M3. He's up to original P3 with a 2 minute 5.103. I think there is something about race cars with the sun shining on them. So we can see the sun finishing off. Yeah, very, very nice. One of the local, I think, R63. One of the Lotuses, I think, actually called a slower car, a little quicker than he expected. Let's just see if we can see who that is. He managed to work her way through a path after Matt Love, who's been his way around the outside. He didn't quite get the move done through Agostini, but he's still closing. Albert Webster is there as well. He's coming up straight through, like Matthew away from John Keel behind. Obviously, the not under the same amount of pressure from Joe United in the previous beginning. However, that for what was his quarter place now under pressure from Spencer Stevenson, bringing with him is Albert Webster, who's got 4 cars all fighting over second place, but he bouncing away Gary Dillon to get back in the ring. And that's because it's that mistake early on. Just quite have the pace, struggling to get past all he did. I know Morgan's quick, but it's actually called Mark Blood, and it is the 169. Stephen Scotland was he leading the race ahead of David Matthias. Josh Payton just about trying to pick out his roof line below the barrier, and Josh Payton's already trying to work his way up into second place around the outside of Partner, all the way around the outside of David Matthias. He gives it a go. Stephen Scotland Woody will be the first car to emerge. He does so now, and Josh Payton, he couldn't make it work. David Matthias remains in second place, followed by Josh Payton. Then it's Martin Reynolds and Neil Jessup very late on the break from Josh Payton. A little bit of a loss for that whole thing about very, very light. Jack Gaddard would be quick, and last night he seemed very relaxed, very calm about the day, so I'm sure he is more than comfortable in that. Like you say, he's here 2 weeks ago, he's got the car tuned perfectly for the Snetterton 300 circuit, and he's already pushing forward. He's already on the tail of the top 5. Jack Gaddard, really, really impressive performance at the moment. Ollie Allen and James Allen also working their way on the previous lap alone. 9 places gained by Ollie Allen, James Allen, no, 10 places gained by Ollie Allen, 9 by James Allen, so they're working forward with Jack Gaddard. 21 places, looking to make it 22 or 23 now. He's already gained 1 this lap, and he's already on the tail of Martin Reynolds and Neil Jessup. Neil Jessup will be the first of those two. As far as Stephen Scotland Woody is aware, he can't really see anything yet. That might be Jack Gaddard, but it's not very, very much so. Jack Gaddard all over the tail of David Matthias up towards Agostini. Will we see a change for second place? No, he's biding his time. He knows he's got the time in hand. He's got from the very tail end of the order. Time his way through traffic onto the tail end of second place. And there you go, Jack Gaddard on the exit of Agostini up the inside of the lane before Hamilton. The next target is Jack Gaddard, and that's the leader. Very, very much so. There's still 10 minutes of this race left. He's got ample time to win in that Sierra Cosworth that really has been so dominant yesterday. But there's going to be a moment when little faceless engine. James Allen still trying to tell me quick. Ollie Arden on the cars around you. And there are a few battles that are quite tricky to pick between at the moment. It seems like a few cars maybe qualified out of position.
A lot that you're going to do. So he's now picking up pace, and so we've got his Escort chasing down a much later generation Escort, the Escort Cosworth that's ahead of him. Yeah, I've got a feeling he's trying to work his way through and past Lloyd Jameson. Working his way through Agostini now is Jack Gadd. A battle that we haven't really looked at for the final few laps, but it's still been wearing on is Neil Jessup and Martin Reynolds. Neil Jessup, the chase car in that one. Martin Reynolds still driving a very good defensive race, and Lloyd Jameson, I think he knew there was no point fighting that one. Pulled over to the inside on the entry towards Oggies and let Jack Gadd by. That's the last thing the leaders will want, a nice easy overtake, but Jack will now focus now towards Coram, the long right-hander. Already John Cooper, after a sterling start, he's got his lights on, and he's just slowly, he's not quite got the gap he would like, but he has got a gap. He's letting the cars behind battle away late on the brakes up the inside. Joseph Knight tries to force Matt Love slightly wide. I think he might have got that position made and wait for his reappearance. Maybe that drag race down to Rich's the first corner, but the 72 car on the inside looks just a little perhaps tuck in and has to stay back in third. Fourth. We'll have a look back to the FT1.
There were 0.6 of a second pass across the line heading onto their last race lap. That gap is nowhere near 0.6 of a second now. You see the roof lines of the cars there, there's barely a Fiesta length between them. It looks like Mark Wilson going to the outside of Matty Pimblett up towards Rundle and Nelson for the final time. We know cars can go side by side through here. Mark Wilson on the outside on that car, but last time we saw them it was Danny Hobson leading the way under pressure from Max Edmondson. Daniel McDonald had managed to work his way up into third. We'll wait to see them appear on the cameras. Who is in the lead? It is still Danny Hobson leading the way from
chasing those top three. There's a little bit of a gap and it's going to take him a lap or two to get there if he's got the pace to do so. But
about defence too much. Will Redford is well and truly getting closer to the race lead, so we could have 5 cars all fighting over first place. It is the race sitting out front, suddenly under pressure again. A bigger trend. The more they battle, the more cars get involved. So at the moment, it is still in the final few stages of the race. That's Will Redford looking at the inside. 7-car train for the lead. That's right, Jack Harding. Fastest lap yesterday. This is about the time when if he can pull out a fastest lap now, and suddenly it's a different car in the lead mirrors. In the leader's mirrors, and that's going to give him something to think about because he's going to know the pace that Jack Harding's got. Yeah, he will indeed, and if you can unlock that pace at this stage of the race, there's only 2 minutes and 13 seconds, so they will be going on to the final lap of the race. Max Edmondson still leading the way by Jack Harding. Will they be side by side when they appear? Yes, they will. Max Edmondson on the inside. I think that's Jack Harding trying to find the outside, but having to go straight on and straight line. Rundle and Nelson is Max Edmondson, and contact between advantage, well and truly worth an investigation towards the end of the race. However, the contact between Jack Harding and
lights go on now, and who will get the best start from the front row of the grid? Will it be Lettuce? Will it be Biss? Initially, it was Stuart Bliss, and he looks like he's continuing to push forward. Andrew Dyer getting a little bit impatient, straight into the back of Elliot Lettuce, pushing forward. They're still side by side. A rather smoky car at the tail end of the order. I think that's Andrew Payne. It's very smoky indeed. It is on the side of the exhaust, but in the lead of the race, I want to say that's Stuart Bliss. Third place, under pressure from Andrew Dyer behind, and then we've just got to wait and see how everybody else falls in behind that. Through Coram they go for the first time. The cement dust is pretty much all dissipated, and because they're not carrying monumental amounts of speed, they can just hook a slightly tighter line, get the car slowed down nice and easy, avoid the big sausage curve on the inside of Murray's, and towards the line for the first time. It's still Stuart Bliss leading the way ahead of Elliot Lettuce. Then we get back to Richard Jebb. Andrew Dyer isn't too far away in fourth place either, but I've got to say the big gap that he had, it's all dissipating. Elliot Lettuce, he knows something we don't yet.
See what he can do throughout the race. He does indeed have Lewis Brown behind him, but that pressure is slowly going to start to mount. We will have a look up towards Brundle and Nelson. Through there, everybody seems to be fairly line astern. No major moves being made as of yet. Every time that the gap looks bigger. It does indeed. I've got to say Brad Kent after one lap has already made up one position. I think it was Stephen Giles in the number 35. Yes, it will have been Brad Kent making that move. Absolutely nose to tail, Under the bridge they go, into the very quick left-hander at Brundle, hard on the brakes, keep the rear end in check before the quick right-hander at Nelson, avoid the sausage curve, and Josh Files once again, he's very, very last time they crossed the line, I'd say he's probably about respond slightly differently to when you're driving it just on your own throughout a track day or an official test day or something like that. But I've got to say, it seems like it's working for him, Chris Smiley. He said he'd only completed very well indeed. We do have a car stop. Why can't we look like a red flag? Yes, that's Calamusa. You change up through, whether it be the racing gearbox or the factory gearbox. Of course, cars can have one or the other. Hard on the brakes again. Balance whilst it is fine through Nelson. And then up to the floor, the quick I've got a feeling he knows there's only about and Chris Smiley, since getting in front of Lewis Brown, has just continued to pull away ever so slightly, little by little every lap. Carl Morley's doing quite well as well, up in 6th place. He's had a fairly quiet race. Alex Lee, since shaking off Carl Morley, he's not really had too much to do with anybody else.
I'm not convinced he hasn't closed up quite a lot actually, though, on Lewis Brown on that.